Everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Robbie Greger, the Flip Flop Flipper. Thanks for joining us today on another YouTube exciting video. Actually, we're gonna talk about some stuff that I don't really love to talk about, but if you're gonna start in this life, if you wanna become a real estate investor, if you wanna become an entrepreneur, you need to protect yourself. You need to protect the assets that you don't even have, that you don't even know that you're gonna have in the future, and you wanna do that by setting things up right. And we say that a lot on this channel. So we jump through a whole bunch of hoops to be able to do the business that we do, to be able to have joint ventures and to be able to buy and sell real estate and do things safely and to protect everybody. And for that, you're gonna need some documentation. I don't like this side of the business. I thank God every day that I have a great business partner, David McCallie, who dots every I and crosses every T. He walks around behind me and he says, Robbie, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, but don't worry, I got you. First off, if you can, joint venture with the Dave McCallie. Get yourself a partner like that who can take care of the things. So my job is to go and buy great real estate. Dave's job is to make sure that we don't lose money while doing it. And he dots all the I's and crosses all the T's. So a couple things before we jump into the stuff that you are gonna need to get. Don't let this stuff overwhelm you. The deal's the most important part of this whole venture. You getting started and going out and looking at real estate and finding great deals and making partnerships with people, that's what's important. That's what you wanna start at this point. But the other stuff that we're going to talk about, it's also important or more important after you've got that first deal. So I hope that I'm saying that in a way that comes across that you understand that, there's several most important part of the deals. When you're finding a piece of real estate, the most important part of the deal is buying it right. Once you've found it, the most important part of the deal will be finding the money. After that, you're gonna have to get to the closing table, and that will become the most important thing that you're doing at that time. Documenting everything is one of the steps that at some point in this transaction process will be the most important part of this whole transaction, right? So you have to have contracts, you have to have leases, you have to have joint venture agreements. You need to have all of these different things. We'll go through it a little bit more detail than that, and I'll try and tell you and send you to places where you can easily find this stuff. I believe that it is easier now for anyone who's starting out than it ever has been in the whole entire world, because there's so much information available to you online. And I'm gonna share some places that you can go and find this stuff. Guys, we don't sell you anything. We're not selling you our systems. I'm not saying use our contracts. You don't need to use our lease. In fact, I'm saying you need to have your own contracts that you're comfortable with. When you're leasing properties after you've renovated to their highest and best use, you need to have your own leases that represent you and your business and the way that you wanna do things. You don't have to boilerplate it after something that Robbie Greger has done. And quite honestly, our docs change almost on a deal by deal basis because we have so many personalities and so many different joint ventures that we don't have one set of docs. Yes, in Florida, we'll use a land trust. We've boilerplated that at this point. Joint ventures change deal by deal. People have different strengths. People have different characteristics that they bring to the table. And we try and put that all into this joint venture agreement, let's say, when we're talking about joint ventures. And you need to have a document that can live and breathe and expand, and it's going to be unique for you and your business. The first one is a purchase and sale agreement. And when you're first starting out, you want to get an as-is contract. That's what you should be making your offers on. You can find this online in your state. In Florida, we use what's called the FAR bar, and you can just Google search it and you can find it. You could get it from a realtor. Almost any realtor in any one of the 50 states is going to be able to easily give you a contract that's an as-is contract for the state that you're in. It gets a little trickier in Puerto Rico, and we'll talk about that more when you're doing business in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico law is more governed by what exactly the contract says, especially around leases and purchases and corporate docs and things like that. We are more comfortable with the boilerplate stuff when we're doing business in the 50 states. When we are doing business in Puerto Rico, it's always deal specific. So we go to a lawyer and we say, hey, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this old office building and we're gonna bring it up to its highest and best use, which we believe is gonna be a hotel. And so here are the partners that are in play, and we need to have this amount of money raised for it, and we're gonna have this guy do the construction. And we put all of this stuff together inside of an operating agreement for that specific entity. And it's deal specific in Puerto Rico. We do a little bit more boilerplate stuff when we're back in the 50 states. So just something to keep in mind. Guys, they're easy to find. They're online. They're everywhere. You can get them from any realtor. Rental or lease agreements, the same thing. So I think there's many places you can go and get great rental lease agreements, and you want to have it looked at by your attorney especially when you get into a business and you're going to have more than just one time, right? Like, so if you're going to buy a property and have it as a rental property, or you've been living in your property for 20 years now and you're moving up to the next one and you're going to keep that house as a rental property, go get a boilerplate lease. It'll be fine. If you're going to do this as a business, speak to the professionals that are going to help you to structure it in a way that it most fits your needs. Option agreements, they're similar to as-is contracts. So I talk a lot about between Florida and Puerto Rico, because we have a real estate business in Florida. It's its own entity, it runs its own way, it buys its own properties, and we use as-is contracts there. But we also buy properties through PR consultants in Puerto Rico. And when we're in Puerto Rico, we use an option contract. So I want to talk about option contracts, because option contracts are extremely important to doing business in Puerto Rico. You can still get an option contract from your local realtor. When we first came to the island, that's what we did. We used an option contract. Whoever was bringing us the property, so if it was ERA salesperson, we would say, hey, Mr. ERA realtor guy, do you have a contract? And he would have a contract, and we'd use that. Over time, we've taken more control over that. We've learned about Puerto Rico that there are some things that you can put in contracts that are deal specific that will help us, and that if we ever have to fall back on the contract, that's what Puerto Rico leans on. So they're still available to you by the realtors though. You could still go online and probably find them. You certainly could get one from any lawyer here on the island who is a real estate lawyer who does closings of real estate. I'm giving you guys the common sense places to go to get this stuff. I don't want you to get bogged down in this paperwork stuff, but it is super important. You guys can do this. Don't let it freak you out. Don't let it be the reason that you pass on a great real estate deal. It's too good of a life. You shouldn't pass it up. You can do this, guys. You've got this in you. Another one that I want to talk about is the joint venture agreements. We expand our business through partnering with people. So we're partnering with people. We invite partnerships with people through this YouTube channel. We do this every single day. In fact, if we ever have the chance to meet each other and have a coffee and we're talking about real estate, I'm very likely going to open it up by saying, hey, we like to expand our business by doing partnerships. So what that means is that we have different agreements with different partners. The joint venture agreements, they are a super important part of our business. We do it oftentimes by creating a one-off corporation and doing it through operating docs a little bit longer later on in this video, but a simple joint venture. We recently did one, a guy in Carolina, where we bought a house at a foreclosure sale, and we bought it in his name at the foreclosure sale. We came in with the money of the day of the sale. He put up some money, we put up some money. We got it titled in his name, and what do we have? We have a joint venture agreement. And our joint venture agreement spells out who does what, who pays for what, who gets what. It's a super important document. And this is one that I'm going to suggest that you might not want to just get the boilerplate joint venture off of the internet. Although they are there, I would have your real estate attorney look at it and make sure that it's set up for you specifically. So with the joint ventures, they can change drastically from one deal to the next. I hope this is making sense, guys. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. If you like some of this stuff, leave me a comment, give me some encouragement. This is the side of the business that I'm not an expert on. I have business partners that I rely on. I have lawyers that we pay to handle this stuff, but I think it's important for us as part of this YouTube community to put this out here so that you know what to expect. And the most important thing that I'm telling you probably is that you guys don't have to worry about this too much. Don't let it be the thing that stops you from becoming an entrepreneur or from becoming a real estate investor. Yes, please protect yourself. Yes, please dot all the I's, cross all the T's, but I'm saying it again and again, and I'll continue to say it forever. Find a great deal. Find good partners. All of this stuff can come together really quickly, pretty easily. And it's a cost of doing business for the deal. So you don't have to have a ton of money for this. Even if it costs a lot of money, your deal will probably be large enough that you can absorb those costs. So think about it, prepare for it, use those documents, but don't let them scare you off of doing something that's going to change your life and change the lives of people around you. Guys, becoming an entrepreneur, becoming a real estate investor, it's worth it. It's worth it every time. It's hard work, sure, but it's So worth it to get some of that freedom back, to get away from the rat race. Anyways, I digress. I hope you guys are feeling me. Guys, that's the stuff that you need to start. There's more. You really get into this and you become a real estate professional and you're an investor and you're doing a whole bunch of deals. You're going to need to know how to form entities on the regular, right? And you're going to figure this shit out. Property management agreements, and look at those inside and out. This is a big one for us, as we like to be seller finance sellers. We like to sell our properties and become the bank. And so learning and knowing about promissory notes and mortgages has been something that we have forced ourselves to do. And you'll get to that. I'm not going to go into a lot of details about all of that stuff because it gets pretty advanced, and you're going to learn this stuff as you go. Doing your first deal is like a semester or a college. It's probably a semester of college, your first deal. Do 10 deals, you're halfway through. Once you've got 50, 60 deals in your belt, you've got that 4-year degree. You might even have the master's degree, guys. So I'm going to run through a few places that are easy to find this legal document stuff, this stuff that's going to protect you and protect your assets and protect you for the future. Of course, everybody should have counsel. So once you've become an entrepreneur and you're a real estate investor, once you've done this a time or two, hire yourself a good real estate lawyer. They can help you with all of the documents that I've talked about. They can help set this stuff up so that it's specific to your business. So real estate attorneys are going to be a vital part of your team, but you don't have to have them starting out. The next one that's super easy, and maybe even the one that you would use to start. So there's these online services like Rocket Lawyer, LegalZoom, and Law Depot. They'll provide you template stuff, joint ventures, contracts, option contracts. You can find all of these things. Quick boilerplates for setting up entities, starting an LLC. You can find all of that on these online sites. They're kind of quasi legal firms, and they've done this thousands of times. And maybe it's a good place to start. One that I'd really encourage all of you guys who are starting out to go and find some of these places, or to find some of these documents. Go to your local RIA. So here in Puerto Rico, we have the Rio Rico, and you can find all of the documents, and you can find somebody who's in that group that will help you with all of those documents, whether that's a realtor or a lawyer or a mortgage broker or a property manager. It doesn't matter. These RIA groups are a wealth of information. Go to them wherever you are. There's one in every town in the USA. They meet monthly. They're not hard to find. Google is an amazing thing. You guys are so lucky that you're starting a business today. It's so much easier than it was 25 years ago. I know that sounds odd to some of you because I hear it all the time that we had it so much easier, and I just think, man, it's so easy to get information. It's literally at your fingertips. And of course, you can always get information from people who are selling real estate courses and books and things like that. Some references that I think are super valuable. I love my man, Jerry Norton. He's a flipping genius. If you haven't checked out his content, I think you should, especially if you're interested in the wholesale business. Pace Morby, that guy, he's wicked smart, and he's talking about seller financing and buying things subject to, and so you can check out his content. These guys, they sell courses. I think Jerry Norton may even have a place where you can download all of his documents. It might be free, or it doesn't cost very much at all. So these are resources that you can use. Ryan Pineda is another one who's out there. These are great resources that you can find on YouTube outside of the Flip Flop Flipper. Of course, we invite you to watch all of our other content and leave us a comment. We'll make videos on stuff that you're interested in. Let us bring value to us. Tell us what you need, and we'll try and provide. Again, I told you this isn't my favorite part of the business, and so I'm not the world's greatest expert, but I do believe that we could put out good content. We can get you the information. So leave us a comment. Tell us what you like. What do you want to hear about? If I left something off that's important to you, tell me. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Let's go be real estate investors. If you guys want to joint venture with us, if you want to partner with us in any way, maybe you want to run a small hotel, maybe you've got the deal of a lifetime and you don't have any money, or you don't know how to put it all together, send me an email at theflipflopflipperpr@gmail.com. Let's do a deal together. That's how we monetize this channel, guys. We're not selling you anything. Like I said earlier in the video, I don't need you to use my method. I don't need you to use my contracts. I'm not trying to sell you the way. I'm just trying to partner with people who are like-minded. I'm trying to encourage people to become entrepreneurs and real estate investors, and we believe it's a great life, and we believe that you have greatness inside of you. So thanks for being part of our community. Hey, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button for us. We're trying to grow this community, and we're looking forward to doing a deal with you.